let's move on to the Toastmaster tip for today, and that is going to be led by Maureen Foster.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to talk about our websites that we have here at the club, and it's just going to be a reminder. I'll put them in chat when we're done, but just items that you should have bookmarked or saved in your favorites for items that we you should be using. So I shared the wrong screen, so hold on a minute. Okay, do you see our TGIF Toastmaster Club website?
Yes.
So this is interactive. How many of you go to this website on some basis? Okay, see a couple of you. This is the website. So again, if you don't, I'm going to put it in the item in the chat, but if you don't, look at this website, and here's how I use it. So you have your member login here, and you log in, and honestly, the way that I use it is to look at materials. So you will see, well, let me just log in. So here's my name, maybe. I haven't logged in for a while. Uh-oh, I may have caught myself in something. See, there you go. So I haven't been in for a little while, but what you can do is I use it for, there's member downloads, and that's really the area where you can look and see what roles are, especially for like Nick, you being newer to the club, or anybody else that feels like they just want a refresher. So I mainly use it for that, especially since when I'm mentoring people, we will go here and do a tour of it, and then I'm gonna have to remember my password, obviously. But this is a good resource for you to keep available. I have to say I don't use this as much as the other ones, but this is our club and these are our people, and if you need to know who our people are, you can see who they are, but you have to sign in. So our member list is not available to people who are not members of the club. Now this one should be one that you are going to on a frequent basis. Who's going on this on a regular basis? Okay, I see just a couple of hands. So we've heard from people in our club that we should look at our own videos, which is cringy at the very least, right? But the first thing I've noticed is look at the different faces on here. Like some people have their video stopped at the best time. So look at Franklin, he's well lit and he looks very happy. He's got a big smile. And then some of us, not so much. John looks super serious in whatever he's doing. So whatever speech he was giving, I'm sure he was really giving something very serious. But what you can see here is you can click on these. Scott's super excited about what he's talking about. But go here and look at your videos. I have to also say that I forgot that evaluations were on there. So if you have an evaluation, you can see what you look like there. But this is just really a good practice. I'm telling you guys as much as I'm telling myself, because this is not a habit I get into because it's cringy. But please bookmark this, because you want to at least look at your own. One best practice that some people in our club do is if they are evaluating someone, they'll go back and look at maybe a speech or two that they've given in the past to see what their cadence is, what they look like, how they're doing, and that will inform them when they are evaluating their current person. So that's a good best practice to look at. And then our Toastmasters International. Do you guys use this on a regular basis? Anybody? No, kind of. Okay. All right. So I did not have to do this yesterday, pardon me. The thing about Toastmasters International is I always forget my password, but it stays once you log in. So that's good. So if you're like me and you forget your passwords, but what I want to show you here is pathways. Now, this is really what I'd like to understand. How many people are looking at pathways and using a path? Oh. So we have a big opportunity. So it looks like me and Sharon. Okay. So you guys, I did all this last night. I had it all ready for us. It's not working. So when you go to pathways, there we go. Just taking it a minute. So what I suggest is definitely go to pathways. So pathways, when you go in there, you go to base camp. So this is where you go. This is your manual. We used to have paper manuals. You can still get them if that's your thing. You can either print them off or you can order one and pay for it. But I just want to show you a little bit about what it looks like. So my path, so what you do is you take a little quiz, and based on what you do, it gives you 3 paths to look at, and I chose presentation mastery. So you can see here on the left-hand side, I am on the 3rd level of 5 in presentation mastery. So I've completed level 1. So it was my icebreaker speech, evaluation, another speech, and then I completed it. And so you can see what your levels are, and all you have to do is launch it and go through that process. So I've done this in the level, and I'm currently on level 3. And you can see here that I've completed 1 speech. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a speech. So you can see that that's there, but I get to choose. Look at all the things I get to choose from and decide how I want the motivation or the focus of my speech, and I get to choose that. And if I want to move around, if I want to go to, there's something on level 4 that I really want to do, because some of the other levels it's like speaking in public or some other items, I can skip around, I can do those things. So this is, I really encourage you to go through there. At first, it seems a little clunky, but once you get in there, it's still a little clunky, but you can use it. Like, it's not super complicated. It just, you have to go piece by piece. So that's really just kind of the drawback from it. But this helps you keep track of what you're doing and how you're doing it. And our VP of Education will take a look and see how people are doing. Our club also gets I want to say points, that's not the right word, but we have requirements each year to get a certain level of club involvement, and this is one of them. So please take a look at pathways. If you have any questions, I work in it, and there's a couple other people in our club that do. Feel free to reach out. As an officer club, we talk about it a lot, and maybe it's time for another session to get a working session to get everybody in pathways and click around in there, do some things that we're doing together so you can take advantage of what this is, because this just helps you keep track of what you're doing. And it is satisfying to see that I have 2 levels checked off. So if you're like me and like to see things in action because you forget, this is a good place to do. And that is it for my Toastmaster tip.
I am more surprised about how many people are not using pathways. So we are going to help course correct that. And I agree, we will schedule some sort of working session so that we can get everybody on, familiar with it, and feeling comfortable. Because I think that's the biggest piece. When it was a manual, pretty straightforward. You open the book, you got it. And this is a little bit more complicated, but you also do have a lot more options and choices and paths that you can take. So definitely want to make sure that we are taking advantage of that. So thank you, Maureen.